Well, a number of families today lost everything after a fire destroying a Douglasville apartment building. People now left wondering where to go from here.
Atlanta News First Carly Barnett was there on scene today, first on the scene. She joins us with the aftermath of a chaotic day in Douglas County. Carly, I'm assuming that fire's been put out for a couple of hours. Any hot spots back there?
Well, Savannah, Allen, the good news is that everything is put out, but it did take firefighters several hours to get out all those hot spots. That just speaks to how severe the flames were. Actually, more than 3 hours it took them to fully knock down those flames. We have Atlanta Gas Light out here right now doing some work, but as you can see, there is absolutely nowhere for people to come home to tonight. This building just gone, and a lot of powerful emotions today as people watched everything they had go up in smoke. Video from an Atlanta News First viewer shows a building in the Douglasville proper apartments engulfed in flames.
My son said, it's a fire, so I just ran outside to see, and I seen somebody jump out the window out there and everything.
People who live in the complex describe a frightening scene. Douglas County Fire Chief Miles Allen said it started around 2:45 Wednesday afternoon.
It was blowing through the roof on the second floor, and it did travel pretty quick.
2 adults and 1 child were injured and had to be taken to the hospital. Rashida Hicks said she and her daughter were unloading groceries when they realized there was a fire.
First, we're making sure everyone was out. Then, realizing we have nothing to go back to.
Now a feeling of helplessness and a lot of questions.
We've never experienced anything like this. Where to start, who to talk to, who to call, how to replace birth certificates, medical supplies, and baby pictures.
Rubens Paul grew up here.
Bottom floor, left corner, and it's kind of really sad to see it like this now.
He's founder of the local nonprofit For the Kids Georgia and says they're collecting donations for the families impacted.
Imagine being a kid and having to start from ground zero. It's hard enough, for a lot of these families in the community, so I can just imagine what they're going through.
Well, Rubens launched an online fundraiser. We have a link in this story on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. The Red Cross is also assisting. Several people that we spoke with out here all said the same thing. They said they didn't hear any fire alarms or smoke detectors going off when this fire took place. So we spoke to the leasing office. The leasing office said they weren't authorized to answer any of our questions about if they did have smoke detectors or when their last fire inspection was. They passed that on to management, who has not gotten back to us tonight. Live in Douglasville, Carly Barnett, Atlanta News First.